Tujagues restaurant. More fun.
Welcome to NOLA, gent. Let the good times roll. Tujagues restaurant, the second oldest restaurant in New Orleans, being over 160 years old and having resided in their current location for over a century. Unfortunately, we have gotten news that they will be relocating to a new location, and I'll put a link to that story below. This is inevitable as change is, but unfortunate for those of us that have enjoyed many amazing times at this location throughout the years. For myself, this is one of the earliest memories I have of dining at any restaurant in New Orleans as a child. So I will definitely miss this old spot. The current location may be found at the intersection of Decatur and Madison Streets, which is a very popular section of the French Quarter with tourists and locals alike. This spot has seen a lot of good times and history pass by, so it will be sorely missed. But let's head on inside. The entrance through the bar is how you get to the restaurant. So make sure you don't try to enter through the door to the right, or you will find the door locked, but you can see into the dining room with the people eating. You want to go to the door to the far left, which will get you into the bar, so that you can then enter the dining room or eat in the bar. So on first walking in, you will be greeted by what Tujagues claims is the oldest stand-up bar in the United States of America. And the glass mirror behind the bar is said to be over 250 years old, which makes it older than the USA. To get a table, you'll walk to the back of the bar here, and certainly do notice that, as you would imagine, a bar this old does have a lot of character. So just take a look around and take it all in for a moment, and maybe even grab a drink before you get lunch or dinner. So we're going to go into the dining room and get seated for lunch service today. And it's a small, concise dining room, but it certainly serves its purpose well. So we'll take a seat and look at the lunch menu. So the menu has an abbreviated timeline of the history of Tujagues. There's a much more detailed one on the website, and I'll put a link to the website below. I suggest you take a look at that for a lot more interesting history. So the 1852 date is when Guillaume Tujaque moves to New Orleans from France and set up his butcher shop. The mid-late 1800s, Guillaume Tujaque marries Marie Abadie. Late 1800s, Guillaume Tujaque opens Tujagues restaurant at 811 Decatur Street. 1912, Guillaume Tujaque passes away. His sister Alice Tujaque NOLA and her husband Etienne NOLA take over the business. 1914, Alice Tujaque NOLA and Etienne NOLA moved Tujagues to 823 Decatur Street, the original Biggs location. That was another famous brunch restaurant in New Orleans. Early 1900s, Etienne NOLA passes away, widowing Alice Tujaque NOLA. Alice sells Tujagues to Philip Gaucher Sr. and his business partner Jean-Dominique Castet. The early 1900s, Jean-Dominique Castet's wife, Clemence Castet, joins her husband and his business partner, Philip Gaucher Sr. in running Tujagues restaurant, working in the kitchen and the main dining room. The early mid-1900s, Otis Gaucher starts working with his father, Philip Gaucher Sr., behind the stand-up bar. 1958, Jean-Dominique Castet passes away. Clemence Castet continues to work at Tujagues until her death. 1965, Clemence Castet passes away. Philip Gaucher Sr. takes over all operations with his sons, Otis and Philip Jr. 1982, the Gauchers decide to sell the business. Stephen Ladder buys the business. Philip Gaucher's grandson, Nooney, remains as manager. 2013, Stephen Ladder passes away. Stephen's son, Mark Ladder, takes over the business with his wife, Candace Ladder. So that was a nice concise history, let's look at the food now. So for appetizers, we have charbroiled oysters, the crepes, oysters en brochette, crispy pork belly. Soups, we have a choice of the gumbo du jour, soup du jour, salads with the house salad, a shrimp remoulade, a wedge salad, and $5 lunch drink specials with house wines, well-branded cocktails, Bloody Marys, and $14 bottomless mimosas. And then a selection of other drinks to the left that we will pay attention to later. So now we can look at the entrees. They do have an 1856 celebration lunch with the first course of a gumbo du jour, a house salad with a second course of pasta jambalaya. The other entree selections are the famous brisket, a Beta Amber barbecue shrimp and grits, Miss Brenda's red beans and rice, buttermilk fried chicken salad, seafood courtbouillon, Gulffish Amadine, crawfish etouffee, brisket po' boy, fried shrimp po' boy, fried oyster po' boy, and sides of skin-on french fries, butter poached asparagus, pepper jack cheese grits, Yukon Gold smashed potatoes, bacon and onion braised Brussels sprouts. So Tujagues is noted for having several off-menu items, and for many years you had a choice of only doing the multi-course table d'hôte menu, and that only rather recently changed in the last few years, where you could have a selection of things other than that when you came to eat here. So I will be going with the table d'hôte menu today. So I will begin my lunch with a loaf of French bread and real butter. None of that fake margarine or butter spread. 100% butter. Next up will be the shrimp remoulade. The next course is sweet potato bisque. Next up is the boiled brisket with the amazing spicy sauce. I have been fortunate to try a lot of the best beef barbecue across the USA, especially around the Texas Hill Country, and most folks just would not believe that boiled brisket could be this fantastic when combined with this amazing spicy sauce. So, let me tell you, y'all should come try this. And my main course has arrived, and I went with the crawfish etouffee because it is crawfish season. Most things go better with a little Tabasco sauce, especially crawfish etouffee. So I always do like to add a little extra in there. And we've arrived at the dessert course with bread pudding. So, my table d'hote lunch with only drinking iced tea came out to $56.88 before tip. So, lunch was great, but we're gonna return back for a dinner in the bar, which really Tujagues, my favorite place and time to eat is in the bar. Traditionally, you could only go and order certain items in the bar after 5 p.m., such as the brisket sandwich that used to be an off-menu item, and the chicken bonfim, which is also another off-menu item. So we already saw the lunch menu, but the dinner menu is a little bit different, so we'll look at that briefly as well here now. So for appetizers, we have absinthe poached oysters, duck and goat cheese crepes, fried green tomato ravigote, Brobridge crawfish gnocchi, crispy pork belly, charbroiled oysters. Then soups, we have a choice of a gumbo du jour or the soup du jour. Salads, we have the house salad, the shrimp remoulade, the wedge salad. And then we get down to the taste of the table d'hote, which we already had that for lunch, so we're not going to repeat that. And then we have a nice selection of cocktails, but we're not going to look at that right now because we're about to move to something a little more special. So now, looking at the entrees, we have a grilled yellowfin tuna, a Gulf fish aberdeen, the beet amber barbecue shrimp and grits, pan roasted maple leaf duck breast, Tujagues famous brisket, chicken Madison, grilled pork chop, tornadoes of beef. And then we have sides of brisket dirty rice, Yukon Gold smashed potatoes, bacon and onion braised Brussels sprouts, lyonnaise sweet potatoes, and butter poached asparagus, a Merleton French bread dressing with crawfish gravy, corn mac cho, and pepper jack cheese grits. Now, to get into cocktails again, we are going to have the Grasshopper cocktail tonight. And on the menu, we can see that history of the Grasshopper. Did you know that the frothy after-dinner favorite was invented here? In the early 1900s, Philip Gaucher Sr. and his business partner Jean-Dominique Castet bought Tujagues from the widowed Alice Tujaque and Louis. While behind the bar, Philip Gaucher Sr. created the Grasshopper for a 1918 cocktail competition in New York City, where his concoction placed second. Well, I shall be ordering the after-dinner drink before dinner, so I'll be putting in my Grasshopper order along with my dinner order of the chicken bonfim and the brisket sandwich.
Oh, pressure's on.
I can learn how to do it. And that's the cream de menthe.
There we go.
Grasshopper, thank you.
Yeah.
So, the Grasshopper ingredients are 2 ounces of white cream de cacao, 1 ounce dark cream de cacao, 1 ounce green cream de menthe, 1/2 ounce white cream de menthe, 1/4 ounce brandy, 4 3/4 ounces heavy cream. Combine all the ingredients in a cocktail shaker and shake them without ice, and then strain into your glass and enjoy it. So after getting the Grasshopper down inside you and waiting on your dinner, you might begin to look around and see some interesting things. And if you time it just right, you might even become the emperor of the Tujagues bar. And if you find yourself lucky enough to get the throne chair, you can reign supreme for the moment that you have the seat. Of course, now it's time to eat, and the brisket sandwich is here, and it's looking fantastic. And always make sure to ask for a little extra sauce on there because it makes it even more fantastic. And we also have the amazing chicken bon femme, which is a huge pile of whole chicken fried up in garlic batter.
Delicious brisket sandwich.
So the chicken bon femme is such a large plate of food and the table is so small, I can't even get my camera to get a direct shot of the plate of the brisket sandwich here. The brisket sandwich is a lot of food and I did manage to take it down to the last bite. But now I've got this big pile of chicken that also came with a big pile of freshly fried potato chips. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to take all of this down too.
Gonna be a lot of chicken to eat here.
One of the things that Mark really wants to do is definitely do it as there'll be a mini cast iron, and so it'll be seasonal. We've got envelopes that'll be put into a pastry crust and put into a little cast iron skillet and bake, and then top with ice cream and sent to the table. It'll be for 2, have to order this, take us 40 minutes or so to cook it. But right now you just don't have ovens. With us switching back to light, so the buses are back to fire. So now we're using the oven more than we used to. So there's no way for us to just
Okay, I did some serious damage, but the chicken won. And so at least there'll be leftovers for later. So the check total was $76.21 for the brisket sandwich, the chicken bon femme, a couple of grasshoppers, and several beers. And now we're going to take a special tour of the upstairs dining rooms of Tujagues. So right here at the top of the stairs are the bathrooms, which that's always a good thing to know where they are. So I have been to many parties and events up here, and it's always a little strange to come up here when there isn't an event going on, when it's deserted and quiet like this. I will certainly miss each and every one of these rooms upstairs, as I've had special moments and events in all of them. I've gone to many carnival parties and dinners here, and everything has remained exactly the same on these walls here for a long time. And it is a beautiful space up here, with very little having changed in such a long time. It still has a definite elegance that's timeless to it. And I've actually even been to a bachelor's party back into this room. So certainly some interesting memories from that experience. And I've even been out on the balcony there also in the front, Those doors are locked, so I can't get through there to show that to you, but it looks straight across the street. And this room has changed a little bit. It's become the coup d'etat room. So there's a great deal of coup d'etat regalia in here. Crewe is an organization that puts on Mardi Gras parades, if you don't know that. And you will see some of the float decorations and float paintings in here, and some of the other items related to that organization. I've been to quite a few Lundi Gras events up here, and I will certainly miss those parties. You'll see Le Coup d'Etat is right there. And on the fireplace mantle there is the Tujagues cookbook. I will put a link to that below, and you can also purchase it from Tujagues if you don't want to order it online. A lot of good times and good memories in this room, and I will certainly most especially miss this room. And there's a little closer up shot of some of the different coup d'etat relics in here. And then just some of the other photographs. Those are some of the floats there. And other artwork and items related to coup d'etat. Well, it's time to go back downstairs. Taking one last long look around the bar and hoping that I might be able to get back before they move, and knowing beyond most certainty that I will not be back for a party upstairs. So as I paused a moment to look back at Tujagues, wondering if I would be able to get back before they moved to their new location, I didn't know then that now I would be facing the global pandemic shutdown of our dining scene, and if any possibility would exist or any time to get back to eat at the old location before they move. If any hope exists, it will be a very short window. So hopefully we will get that time, and I hope to see all of you there for one last time while we can celebrate what has been at this over a century of good times, good people, and great food. If you would like to follow me on Yelp, I have thousands of pictures and reviews on there. You can also follow me on Instagram for more photos. And please like this video and subscribe to the NOLA channel. We would also love it if you would help us out on Patreon and help the channel continue to have more content produced. Thank you very much.